Hey, Saul here with another SAT Solved Live. Today I'll be going over the 2022 October US SAT for the first time ever. I've never seen it before, so you'll be able to see how I work through these problems even when I don't know what's coming. I strongly recommend, if you haven't solved this particular test yet, go ahead and download the PDF from the link that I've put in the description below, somewhere over here. You'll be able to follow along a lot better. Reddit is just one source. There are multiple sources, but I think it's the most reliable one. So go ahead and download that. While you're down there, I'd also recommend you take a look at my tips for watching this stream. Streams can get kind of long, so you might want to speed up playback to kind of skip through, slow down for some important parts, skip between chapters, etc. And keyboard shortcuts are going to be super, super helpful there. Now, I know you've been eyeing that subscribe button. If you're on mobile, I guess over here somewhere. Go ahead and hit it. You'll get more intelligent reading and writing content in your YouTube feed. Currently, I'm working on digital SAT stuff right now, so you can expect to see some streams coming up. Hitting that subscribe button also means you'll help me, you'll help yourself, and you'll even maybe help some other people who need to see this content but haven't yet because YouTube algorithm thinks I'm still little fish. And right now, hitting that button will you can gently let YouTube know how wrong they are. All right, so I'd be very thankful, and maybe some of your viewer peers will also be thankful as well. All right, so that's it for the intro. Let me get into the test. Let me pull it up. Oh, I just realized I didn't necessarily charge my Apple Pencil, my really ghetto old school Apple Pencil with the horrible charging interface. But let me see if it works. Yeah, EK, thank you. And by the way, guys, if you want notifications for these streams, go ahead and hit the notification bell. You'll always be on top. EK, by the way, before I get started, I'm kind of curious. Did YouTube notify me when I started streaming, or did it notify you, 30 minutes ago when I was scheduled to start? Because that's always something that's been a little stressful for me. I kind of want YouTube to notify when I actually start streaming, not when I am scheduled to start streaming. So let me know if you got that notification 35 minutes ago or if you just got it now. All right. Well, while I take this test, I won't be able to really chat too much, but I will be able to do one-off, quick questions. So if you can ask things that are relevant to this passage or to whatever is in front of me, I will answer. If you're asking things that are kind of general and not really related to this particular test, I will save that for the end. Okay. So that's that. I think we can get started. Thanks, EK, for confirming. I'm glad that YouTube lets you know right when I start. So that's good. I'm about to get going now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Louis Comfort Tiffany, an artist, later became famous for lampshades. Okay, former employer. Former employer wasn't famous at the time. Cool. So, some interesting, maybe regrets, right? I've come to inquire if you have work for me. That is a deliberate prompt. I didn't want to be hired because of my need or his kindness. My talent to want me back. Oh, indeed was all he offered. Well, not to fill this. Okay. Symmetrical curves. Interesting. His new projects. I asked. A Byzantine chapel for the... Oh, this is a long time ago. Columbian Exposition in Chicago next year, 4 times bigger than the Paris Exposition. This was the greatest assembly of artists since the 15th century. He counted on his fingers. Yeah, this is a long time ago. And it's crazy. It only comes out in line 14. What time period this we're in? And the reason I knew is because I know what the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago is. Um, his sketches and watercolors, Botticelli, scenic side windows, huge undertaking. How richly fortunate. Surely it'll be an opportunity for me to shine. So that's the focus on me. I'm just wondering about what's this relationship here? I'm kind of confused. Okay, practically hopping from side to side, he made a show, slinging down one watercolor after another. What do you want the window to be? So he's very excited about something, but this person wants to get hired again. Gracious, you've been on fire. Go slow. Give me a chance to admire. Oh, so we're flattering him. Um, a pair of peacocks, grapevines, whistled, facing each other, transformed the standard Christian icon of a crown of thorns into a God the King. The thorns were placed by a large cushion in true Tiffany style. True Tiffany style. His name was Tiffany, right? Yep. Large glass jewels. So very gaudy almost, right? How we can mirror watercolors so deep and saturated. Okay, they're vibrating together. It's metaphorical, obviously, but the peacocks, sapphire blue type. Okay, we're really describing these peacocks. Huge. It's apparently very overwhelming and immense and beautiful. The colors and the harmony and the whatnot. It was resplendent. Good word. When I could trust my voice not to show too much eagerness, your originality is still healthy. Only you would put peacocks in a chapel. Okay, interesting. We're kind of going for the kill now. Don't you know they symbolized eternal life in Byzantine art? He chuckled. Okay, see, we're trying to impress him because we still want a job, but because he became famous. Tossed down more drawings. He looked at it with nothing. Hang on. What is this it we're looking at? More drawings. An altar. But a font. Okay, what's this it? This dome. Ah, okay. Is the lid of the basin in opaque lid of glass? Nothing short of. It was genuine love that he looked at it with. Okay. Translucent glass. So once you figure out how this. Peacock feathers. Idea dawning on him. Aha! So we're successful. We're successful because now we gave him an inspiration, and now you might be able to get that job back. Here we go. Stop. Let me just do a quick map of the passage. This is what I remember from the passage, okay? And the reason I do this for streams, you should not be doing this for real tests, obviously. But the reason I do this for streams is so that you can compare against me, against someone who's supposed to be good at reading, how well you can map the passage. All right. I want you to be able to see that you probably have weaknesses in your reading that you can work on. All right, just by comparing your map versus mine. Now, I'll share with you my map of the passage. I'm not looking at the passage at all. I'm going to do this completely from memory. I'm just going to map out what came out on what part of the page. Okay. So there are 3 columns, okay? First page, second page, 3 columns, and we need to get through. I need to just sort of map out the information that comes out. Top left, right, we have a character, a narrator who wants to get a job. That's the blurb from his former employer who became more famous in the intervening time, and the first thing is we're kind of talking to him. But we're trying not to seem desperate. All right, that's like top left. That's all I really remember. We're trying not to seem desperate. We want to focus on the talent. Now, in the middle left, we get this bit of exposition about the World Columbian Expo, right? And at Chicago, and we get the reaction of the employer Tiffany, who is like gushing, like it's gonna be his big shot or something like that. It's There's going to be it's a huge opportunity. It's the biggest opportunity since like the 15th century or something like that. And he'll get to shine. At the bottom of the left column, we get the narrator thinking, oh, maybe this is my turn to also shine, something like that. But I don't really remember anything else besides that. And the narrator's trying to get into his favor without, being overbearing or something like that. I don't fully recall exactly. Top right. So now we're on the second column, top right. We get the peacocks. We get this peacocks. So first we have the guy showing a bunch of his works, but then we get at the top right, like the unveiling of like kind of one of his masterpieces, I guess. And it's like these peacocks, these Byzantine peacocks with lots and lots and lots of colors that are just like vibrating with each other, like church organs. They're kind of perfectly in harmony. And it's not such Jesus suffering kind of imagery. It's more of like this regal kind of lush imagery, something like that. I kind of lost track of the details, honestly, but that's kind of the vibe. All right, that goes all the way down to the middle of the right column, and then at the bottom of the right column, it says something like I don't remember, but there's like a chuckling at some point, but I don't remember where this chuckling came out. But at the bottom of the right column, there is this shift over to like this. He pulls out some more pieces, right? And in the third column at the top, we get this dome that the narrator mentions. And like this dome is this thing, and then he's like, yeah, it's this thing, and they have this like kind of excited moment about this dome, and then the Tiffany guy, he tries to elaborate on some sort of idea, and he's stuck. And then the narrator says, now this is like the middle of that column, basically it's the end of that story, says, well, we could make it like we can connect it with like peacock feathers or something like that, and it becomes like this sort of like breakthrough idea. And we don't get the narrator's emotional reaction to this, but obviously the narrator got exactly what he wanted, or she wanted, or actually I kind of lost track if it's he or she, but the narrator gets what he or she wants because the narrator gets to kind of show, like contribute to the genius of this Tiffany guy. Okay, so that is the story. That's my map of the passage. I thought it's a pretty good map of the passage. I think if you can map the passage as well as I did, you're in a solid place. So that's my map of the passage. I'm going to give it a grade of A. I would say that's an A map of the passage, not A plus, because there are other passages where I like literally remember, like I can like quote from the passage and I can like remember very specific details from the passage, but this one I couldn't. That said, I kind of had everything in. Oh no, there are a couple pieces that were kind of lingering, so A minus. The what was the one that I couldn't remember? The chuckling. I forgot where the chuckling came out, so that's kind of like fuzzy in my head. So A minus, map of the passage. All right, that's my map of the passage. I'm going to go into the questions. Given that I have a pretty good map of the passage, I feel like pretty confident that I'll be able to do a couple no-look answers where I don't even look back at the passage. I should be able to just choose it right away. So we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. Continuing. 3, 2, 1, let's go. What choice best describes what happens? Guy gets a job. Support behavior changed, motivations, discuss shared interest with another character. That's basically, wow, it's so broad that it's actually it's a little hard because it's so broad, but yeah. That's a no-look answer, by the way, so exclamation point for no-look answers. Tiffany looks forward to the upcoming World's Columbian Exposition. Chicago has a opportunity to shine. Critical acclaim is a little iffy. So I'm thinking, oh my God, why is this thing not working? Okay, popular recognition, but this I can't do no-look answer, even though I'm like 90% sure. Lips of Millions. The name will be Lips of Millions. Okay, critical acclaim never comes out, so that's basically correct. 520. That is not a no-look answer. That took me 40 seconds though, so not so bad. 40 seconds despite the technical errors and technical difficulties with my pencil. Tiffany informs her with his new projects by showing them. Presenting Several finished. Oh. Intends to construct. It's incorrect. Finished is correct. Yep. So that's 545. That's a no-look answer, and that's duh. Supports the idea that the narrator recognizes the potential importance of contribution. Oh, that's at the very end. It has to be, yeah. Just think where that could go. That's the only one that's... See, the contribution comes out at the end, so A, B, and C just can't even work. Yeah. Because like A, B, and C literally just cannot work. So that's... I was almost on... I mean, that question, but okay, I'm gonna pause. This question, the structure of this question, it's impossible for there to be a no-look answer, but goddamn, if that wasn't a no-look answer. Like, I knew it was D because it could only come out at the very end, right? So I knew it was D, but obviously I have to check. Like, I have to. So that was basically a no-look answer, but I can't call it a no-look answer because technically it isn't that. Okay, but this is what I mean by mapping the passage and knowing what the hell it's talking about, okay? Like, how much time did that take me? That took me 25 seconds. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Wait, why is it not working? Let's do that again. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 3, 2. You know, sometimes my shortcuts don't work. All right, there we go. Number 5, here we go. True most nearly means... in true, in genuine, in classic, in characteristic. There we go. 6:30. 20 seconds. Pipe organ. That's that metaphor, right? That's that metaphor. 41. Yeah. As surely as, right, to suggest how, you know, harmonious perception of the vividness. Vividness is maybe not the right word, but I'm just thinking about it. Inspiration, surprise, image depicted. Okay, yeah. So vividness is not the word I would have chosen, but that's not a no-look answer. Sorry, but it's, you know, it's come on. Why is this pencil not working? There we go. So yeah, it wasn't the word I would have chosen, but it works. Remarks 53, 54, 58 are best described as the narrators. 53, 54, and 58. Your originality, only you would do this. And 58, what a lucky find for you. Kind of like ingratiating himself, right? Amusement, sure, that kind of works. Open admiration of his unique vision is a little strong. Puzzlement, resentment. The second example doesn't help with open admiration, so I'm going to go with amusement. Sure. In context, the description of 66-68 contributes to the passage overall characterization of Tiffany. Okay. Overall characterization of Tiffany. We're looking at 66-68. Where's that? Short of love. He was, very, very proud. We're emphasizing how proud he is. Contributes to the overall characterization, suggesting his importance. I don't know. Preference for large scale. No. Personal warmth towards others. Intensity, excitement. There we go. 8:35. All right, here we go. Infer from the passage that the narrator's talents include an ability to kind of like help other people figure out their ideas. Enhancing existing idea. Technical. Names, critiques. Hang on, what? Technical? Is it technical? Let me go back to technical. I was struck by the idea. Imagine if you reduced it. Once you figure out how to secure the pieces, that could be the method and the shape. I'll wrap on our window, say peacock feather. Okay, yeah, that is technical. All right. I didn't really realize that, but that works. 9:15. That's the only one where my map of the passage didn't really work. 69:72. Is that correct? Yeah, 69:72. That's correct. So that's a 9:30 passage. Pause. Oh my God, my shortcuts are not working. How do I make this pause? Can I make this pause? Very annoying. Pause! Dude. Why? I'm just bleeding time right now. Now I have to like manually. Dude, where's the pause button? I think the script. There we go. Well, that was 30 seconds just bled to nothing. All right, well. Uh, just gonna, I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm going to lose those 30 seconds. It's fine. It's because I'm going to be able to make it up on the next couple passages. But anyway, that's that. Kind of annoyed with this technical issue right now, so I'm gonna do a quick reboot of my programs here. So that's gonna make me momentarily disconnect from the stream. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I should be back. Just confirming that I am good. I think I am. All right. So, yeah, for number 8, I talked about being proud. How does that connect with being excited? Just, I mean, just broadly speaking, he is very excited about being at the World Columbian Expo in Chicago, and he wants to hug his own artwork. So proud, I don't know. I mean, there are different words, obviously, proud and excited, but like it's all of those, both of those words describe him, right? So very, very I use the word gushing in my map of the passage because I knew that he was gushing about this opportunity, very enthusiastic about everything. So I caught on to his emotional state, which helped me get that answer very, very quickly, even though I don't have the exact word that the SAT, the College Board used. You know, I didn't use the word excited, I used the word proud. But like I kind of know, I actually have multiple words in my head to describe him, right? And proud is just one of them. So I had that to draw on when I chose my answer. All right, hopefully that answers that question for you because now time is up. I need to get going on passage 2. Here we go. Passage 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh my, my timer got restarted because I restarted this program, but at least my shortcuts work. Very annoying, but all right, I'm just gonna work with it. Here we go again, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Bigger isn't better when it comes to city size. So this is 2017. We want smaller cities according to Florida. Oops, I'm gonna go back to blue. Yeah, urbanization could be really bad. I'm just thinking of like Bangladesh for some reason. The studies by Frick and Rodriguez Pose, take a close look at the city size connection with economic performance. Developing world cities are growing much faster, much larger. Okay, we're going to historically been thought of as a necessary feature, sure. It's not so simple. Do not benefit, that's interesting. What? Whoa, that's crazy. 2.3% decrease from smaller, medium-sized cities. Megacities often fail to spur significant growth. $10 million. Okay. It's kind of confusing, honestly, this logic. But this one is history versus globalization.
Okay, I found this on the web for versus globalization.
Siri, it's okay.
Check it out.
Siri, stop. Power more balance. There's this whole thing about importations. So maybe you don't really need big cities to grow, to develop. Median of city population size and high income versus developing. So the slope is taller, right? The slope is steeper, I mean. So, sure. That's 340. Oh, I read that kind of quick. I read that quicker than I expected. Peng, what's up? Here's my map of the passage. I'm switching pages so you can see that I'm not looking. Here's my map of the passage. 2 columns. A little hard, honestly, this one for me, but I'll try. Top left. Urbanization. Rapid urbanization happens in developing countries, and it's not that good. I think that's all top left, middle left. Man, that all sounds kind of repetitive to me, honestly, but this whole passage sounds a little repetitive to me, but something like that. Like historically, we have this perception that, urbanization is a good thing, but no, it's not for these developing countries. Developing countries are urbanizing really fast, and it's not always good, especially if you look at the economic indicators, something like that. And then we mentioned the 2 researchers, and I forgot their names already, and they did this study, and wow, I'm very fuzzy on the top left and the middle left, and even the bottom left. I don't remember the bottom left too well. Bottom left, maybe there's some data about like countries of city population data and something like that. They did like these surveys, and then they found that there's this like really surprising thing. I think it's in the bottom left, where if you are an already wealthy nation, every 100,000 person increase in your population size as a city. So I guess not nation. If you're already a wealthy city, or if the nation you're in is already wealthy, then for your city, if it increases for every 100,000 person increase in population size, you actually get like a 1% increase in economic output, something like that. But like for a developing nation, actually you get minus 2.3 economic output, which is crazy. And that's shocking. It's like really amazing and shocking. But that's what I remember from the bottom left. And it's honestly a mess. I do not really remember this column very well. Now let's switch over to the right column, and even that. The right column, we talk about multiple reasons why this could be the case. This is at the top of the right column. And then we say there's like this historical thing where, urbanized cities from rich areas urbanized in the past, and then something like that. And I don't understand the reasoning there. It doesn't make sense to me. And then the second reason is something to do with globalization, about how imports, are breaking the usual chain of reactions between like local agriculture, local industry, and urbanization, something like that, which kind of makes sense to me because, you can cheaply import things instead of having to like develop your own agricultural base, I guess, right? is that what countries are actually doing? I'm not an economic historian, so I don't really know. But you know, it's interesting. It's interesting. So I do remember that paragraph a little bit better. So those are. And that's basically the end of the passage. That's the end of the passage, and there's a little graph showing the two different curves, the two different slopes. One is much steeper, and one is flatter. And the flatter is the developed nations, and steeper is the developing nations, and it's steeply decreasing in terms of output or something like that. I actually kind of don't. I only remember that one is steeper than the other. I don't even remember the directionality. I don't remember the x and y axis right now. Wow, that's rough. I still think though I got the main like I got the main logical transitions and everything. So I'm tempted to give myself a B minus, but it was a little messy. I mean, it was pretty messy, and I don't remember a lot of this. So I want to give myself B minus, but you know, I want to be hard on myself and fair to other people who remember this stuff better than me. So I'll give myself a C plus for that map of the passage. All right, that was my map of the passage. Hopefully you were able to remember a little better than I did when you read this passage. So this map is decent enough that I think I should be able to get one no-look answer maybe in the passage, in the questions. But yeah, I'll probably have to double check for most of the questions. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Main purpose of the passage is to describe, something that's no longer true. Methodology, recent research, new solution, causes and consequences of a phenomenon. Ooh, causes and consequences. What? Phenomenon. The phenomenon of things being, of there being decreases. What are the consequences, though? I guess the phenomenon is the okay, I see. The phenomenon is the rapid urbanization, and the consequences is the economic output, and the causes is the right column. Countries' unique circumstances are likely to distort comparisons between its growth and urbanization population. So we need to talk about unique circumstances, but like, where are these? And we need to have these distort things. I don't remember this though. I think maybe this part over here. No. Okay, 1, 14, 32, and 44. 1, 13, probably maybe 13. Nope. 44. I forget what the third one was, but let's go 44. 44 is still generic. 32. Let's get 32. What the hell? 1 through 4? What? Comparisons. We're trying to talk about comparisons between the unique circumstances are likely to distort comparisons between its economic growth and urban population and those of other countries. 1. I guess 1 is that question is phrased in a way that I don't. Oh, is it talking about the controls? That's such a word. That's such a weird roundabout way of saying controls. Comparisons between economic growth and population size comes out in comparisons between economic growth and comparative size. It's controlling these variables. Oh my God. Because they would distort. That's like, okay, you need to know the definition of control, and you need to be comfortable with that for you to get that correct. Wow, that was a rough one, bruh. That was rough. First and second studies. Dude, I don't even remember a second study. Okay, let's find the second study. Their latest study. Okay. Okay, smaller and medium. They're talking about even within developing nations, that you can get different bang for your buck. Okay. Builds on. Yep. Oh my God, so generic. 735. Wow, these questions are mean. These are some mean questions. Okay, 29. Necessary feature. As a necessary feature, as a necessary, hang on, urbanization has been thought of as necessary, just like a thing that happens. Necessary component, specialty, peculiarity, innovation, yeah. Innovation is weirdly like tempting, but it's not right, but I don't know how to explain right now. It can most reasonably be inferred from the passage that a megacity's economic impact on a country. What the? Crash. Man, everything's just crashing right now for me. All right. Greater in countries with larger land areas, no. Dependent on the type of companies, no. Relatively equal for developing, no. Neutralized by that kind of cost. Wait, the impact is greater if there's larger area? I mean, okay, I guess. Let me. Sure. I mean, I thought that was a trick answer, but whatever. 855, here we go. So the bottom left, right? So 44 and on. We only look 44 and on. 48, 48 to 51. Ooh, that's awkward. The megacity's economic impact. Hang on. When does megacity come out? Megacity first comes out over here. That is awkward, dude. What the heck is going on? 48 through 51. This makes sense. I guess that's the only one that's connected to 4445, so I got to work with that because 4445 is what helps with this larger physical land. And let me just double check 4445. Larger countries. Wait, what? This doesn't talk about land. Where's the land? Oh my God, maybe I got screwed because I was looking for land and physical land. What the hell? Economic cost to maintain. The types of, oh my God, the types of companies. Dude, that's such a crazy knowledge-based industries. Oh my God, 40, oh my God, that's B? Yo, what the hell? That took me so long. 4851. I'm kind of glad that I got. Wow. Okay. Wow. What the hell? Okay. Um, I'm glad that I was bothered and I let myself stay bothered. I'm not sure I'm glad that I let myself spend so much time on that in linear progression. One reason. Cast out one reason. Develop a claim. What the effect? Theory. I guess D. Causes in the past with those in the present. I don't know if causes is the right word, but all the other ones are wrong. So annoying, but sure. 69, producing most narrowly means producing a troubling pattern, resulting in, showing, demonstrating, creating a trouble. Is it creating? I guess creating. All right, 1245. Wow. During what range of years did the initially surpass? Developing countries. Okay. 1990 to 1995. 1310. I think I had no look answers. Which claim from the passage is best supported by the graph? Developing countries benefit. More than half economic growth is not happening more sharply. There we go. I don't know why I didn't see that at first, but 1335, here we go. All right, so that's my second passage. I'm going to go into a third passage pretty quickly, but it just stressed me out. The second passage took me 13 minutes and 35 seconds, but I'm glad it only took me 13 minutes and 35 seconds. That was stressful. Oh, painful. Okay. I'm just a little pooped, but I'm about to get going. All right. Also, I see a bunch of ants on my desk, which wasn't the case like a week ago. I'm trying to figure out why all these ants are coming chasing me here. All right, whatever. All right, third passage. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Pencil. Big brains. I'm just deciding something right now. Should I just? I'm just thinking. Is it better for me to reset the timer at the beginning of every passage? Pros and cons. Pros and cons are, for me, if I like showing how I manage time for the whole test. But doing this awkward +10 thing makes it inconsistent for this thing because I crashed earlier. So for today's stream, at least, I think it's better to just reset the timer. So I'll reset the timer today for every passage. All right, passage 3, resetting the timer. I didn't really properly read the blurb, so I'm really starting at this point. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. The big brains, we're talking about big things again, due to these genes, these 3 genes from, passage 2 is that the brain size evolved gradually. Newly versus gradually, right? So they disagree. 25 seconds. The brains of humans are conspicuously larger. Obscure. The reasons, the factors, the genetic factors are obscure, which have brains roughly a third of human size. Chimps, 15 million changes. Okay, many changes. Which changes would have led to big brains, 3 times bigger brains? Okay, background. We have 6 years ago, we have DH, David Hostler, Notch 2 NL. How, when, and how many neurons to make? Okay, so we're going to talk about Notch 2 NL, but we have Notch 2 as well. Appear to be located in chromosome 1, linked to abnormal brain size. You can shrink, you can grow. Cool, incredible. It was a dud. Oh, okay, so this is just interesting. So this is interesting background. Version 38. Okay, this update to the human genome is located in the crucial region. Ah, okay, so we thought you weren't, but actually you were. A series of genetic accidents. 3 genes exist only in humans. The timing matches up with the fossil record. Okay, together the results suggest beefing up. Thinking of beef and brains at the same time, kind of queasy. Modern humans have brains that are more than 3. Sure. Don't agree when and how, but new analysis of fossil analysis. Okay, we have fossil analysis increased gradually, consistently over the past 3 million years. So that directly, conflicts with 42. Okay. The research shows that the trend was caused by evolution of brains within population individual species. But introduction and extinction also. So evolution and so the causes, were everything. Okay, we have Andrew Du. This is just the importance paragraph. So now this is the methodology. We compare published research data. So it's like a meta study. We have 13 species. The clade level, or groups descending from the common ancestor, they increase gradually. 3 different factors. Larger brain size within the species. Okay, this is the same as the first one. Wow, this is just, addition and extinction. Wow. These are just a repetition of the top part of the passage. For the first time, I see. And this is just a metaphor to describe that. Okay, and we're pausing for the map of the passage. Here's my map of the passage. There are 2 passages. First passage is the left column, second passage is the right column. And from my memory, this is what I recall coming out where. Top left, we have humans have brain sizes that are 3 times as large as chimps and other stuff. And the genetic evolution, and however actually I think that was not the very top. The very top was the reasons for this huge size. Actually, you know what? I don't remember the sequence anymore. Something like that, plus the reasons for this huge brain size have been unclear. The genetic reasons, the genetic factors have been unclear. Then I think we have the name of this one researcher. I forgot the name already, like AD or something like that. I don't know. And he says that previously, right, in like the middle top, previously there's this one gene that we'd all known of, N something that was responsible for how many neurons to make and when to make neurons and stuff like that. Very, very important. It's like in region 1, chromosomal region 1 of the brain, or something like that. Or of the brain. It's not of the brain, right? Chromosome region 1. All right, something. I'm really bad with biology. Just saying. So then this guy had found this variant gene, or it's like this offshoots gene that was like N something L2 or something like that, and the this gene seemed to be really promising because if you mutated it and you got rid of it or something, then brain sizes would shrink. If you increased, if you mutated it and overexpressed it, then brain sizes would explode. Is the wrong word? I hope brain sizes would not explode. But it had a lot of promise. But based on this old map of the genome, it looked like it was in the wrong place. So I was like, I guess it's not it. Doesn't make any sense. But then sometime later, now we're at the bottom left, they updated the map of the genome, and they updated the genome, I guess is what you're supposed to say. And turns out, this guy, he is the culprit. He is the right one. And so they pinned it down to 3 genes that humans have that other animals don't really have. And it seems to match up with the fossil record with this particular spike in the growth of brain sizes. Next column, next passage, top, says, hey, looks like from the fossil record, human species, the brain size has increased very, very gradually over 3 million years. Okay. Now, by the way, from a logical standpoint, in my head, I'm thinking both of these passages could still be correct. There could have been a spike. In brain size at that one time. But if you zoom out far enough, if you zoom out to like the 3 million year like view across multiple species from the Australopithecid or whatever, like the original humanoid species or whatever the words are, man. I'm so bad with biology. But if you kind of zoom out far enough, it doesn't really look like a spike anymore. It just looks like a gradual increase. But anyway, that's just my little addition, all right, to help you understand the relationship between these two passages. But anyway, very top, there seems to be an obvious break from the first passage. Hey, very gradual, over 3 million years. And this passage is a little repetitive, but somewhere in the middle, so it's kind of hard for me to remember the flow, but somewhere in the middle, it says something like, it seems like there are 3 primary factors. There's the evolution of individual species, but there's also introduction of new species that are getting mixed into a gene pool, and then removal of smaller brain species that are getting, obsoleted or selected out of the gene pool. So those are 3 different factors that might have caused the gradual increase of brain size. And in the bottom middle left, in the bottom middle-ish of the right side, it says some other stuff that I don't really remember about how important it is or something like that. And then we swing back to the same 3 things, okay? Evolution, addition, and subtraction. And then at the very last paragraph, there's a sort of metaphor. It's kind of like how you would build out a team. You could just get all your team members to buff up, but actually you could just recruit some big athletes and you can just lay off some smaller athletes. So all 3 of those are in play. That's the second passage. All right, my map of the passage, I would grade myself a B plus or A minus. It's B plus. I want to give myself A minus, but the second passage sort of bored me and I lost track, and so I kind of don't remember some parts of it. So B plus. I have a B plus map of the passage. I still feel pretty confident in my map of the passage. I think better than the second passage. So we'll see what happens. I read a little slower, right, this time. So hopefully that'll help. And last time I didn't get any no-look answers. Hopefully I can get at least one no-look answer this time. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. What do we know about the human genome? Gone through a large number of changes. I don't know about large. Tripled in size? Nope. Many more genes. It retains only a few that were present in the genomes of Denisovans. Let me just double check. That was over here, I think. Nope. Oh, down here. No. Oh. Undergone 50 million changes. Yep. That's a lot of changes. Okay, 535. My lack of bio knowledge is not helping me here. What concept contributed to the initial interest in Notch 2NL? What? What concept? You know, the fact of like neuron development, right? I guess. Okay, relative. Sure. Yeah, that works. They're relatives, right? So 620. So that's, 11, line 11. So 630. Beyond evolutionary biology, I think that's over here. It's this paragraph. Important. Related to cultural complexity, language toolmaking. 59 and 60. 59 and 60. Yep. 655. Here we go. Trend, most nearly means. 53. Trend, most nearly means. I have had no look answers, but I've been very, very fast. The trend was caused primarily. The trend of what? The gradual, consistent growth. The trend of gradual, the progression, it's not inclination customer approach. The progression. I guess progression of brain size? Progression is awkward. Okay. The progression of the brain, I guess? It's kind of a weird way of saying that. The main purpose of the fifth paragraph of passage 2 is to 7381. Oh, I just zoned out for a second. 3 different factors. Yeah, it's summarize. The main purpose, though, is saw that. Okay, they're kind of summarize their conclusions. Oh my god. Yep. 805, 810, I mean. Yep. Reference to a football coach is an analogy. That is. Yep. So that's 820, and that is my no-look answer. Yay! That took me 10 seconds. Which choice describes a key difference between the passages? One is talking about, so right now we're talking about their analysis differences. So I'm just looking at the genetic analysis. Multiple, yes, I was kind of looking for this. Genetic, but also where's the, is this genetic? Passage 2 only genetic? We are also looking at large-scale population level changes. Okay. Is this genetic? Just double checking. Yeah, no, it's not genetic. Small scale genetic, large scale population level. Yep. That's a very roundabout way of saying, at the whole archaeological data. That's a mean question as well. Modern human brain is about 3 times larger than the brain of chimpanzees, I think. Was it chimps? Chimps and bonobos, yeah. Chimps. Again, me having better biology background would have made that a lot faster. Knowledge helps, guys. Having more knowledge helps. Line 58, passage 2, obvious means. Brain size is one of the most obvious traits, most noticeable traits, conspicuous traits. All right, I'm going to just double check line 1. Yep, that's literally the same idea. So that's 10, 15. Woo! And I'm done with that. All right, three passages. Let me just do a quick, purple color. Let me just do a quick time check, okay? Pacing check. So this is 4:15. This was 9:30, but actually 10 minutes, I guess, with that technical issue. Although now I'm kind of regretting giving those 10 minutes away. You know what? I actually am allowed to erase this because I restarted time anyway over here. So yeah. So we have 9:30 over here. And then we're at 13:40 over here. Sorry, 9:30 plus 3:40 is 13:10, I think, right? 13:10. Is that correct? Yeah. 13:10 over here. And then 9:30 plus this is 23:05. Okay. Yeah, 23:05. And then 23:05 plus 4:45 is 23:05 plus 4:45 is 27:50. Okay, 23:05 plus 10:15. That's 33:20. So I am under 35 minutes. I am under 35 minutes for three passages. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I mean, that means I have more than 15 minutes per passage for the remaining two passages. So I'm happy where I am, even though I had to struggle a little bit with the second passage. I'm going to take a quick break. Talking this much does tire me out. It's a lot easier when I do a test without talking, without the maps of the passage. So let me just take a quick break and I'll be right back to finish off the next two passages. Peace. Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, I made some really not very good tasting coffee, and I fixed up my what do you call it, intermission screen. So now it's not just a black hole. Obviously, it still needs some work, like the text and the image. They're all a little light, but for now, it'll do. I'm about to get started. Want to finish this off. Wanted to finish this off by 10 a.m. Vietnam time, so in the next 10 minutes, but looks like that's not happening. So I guess I just need to make some quick progress. All right, just a little tired today, but you know what can I do, right? So let's go and finish off this test. Looking at passage 4 now. 4. I am good on time, not too freaked out. So just gonna keep my usual pace, my usual strategy. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Tom Galma. Oops, what's happening there? Galma, still writing for freedom. Aboriginal Australians and the Torres Strait Islanders. Torres Strait Islanders. Okay, rights versus disadvantaged. Not human rights issues. So, health, housing, and education and employment. These are apparently human rights issues. But they are connected to rights and disadvantages. It makes it easy to disguise any causal relationship between the actions of government and any outcomes. In contrast, human rights connects the government stuff, expressing their claims to goods, services, and protections. Practical measures versus expenditure. Input is not more important than outcomes. The achievements. We need to talk about the achievements and the outcomes. Right? There's no simple way of being able to decide whether progress made through has been good enough because it has no accountability. Never explained, no accountability. Okay. A series of policies and programs without, yeah. They're just spending money to spend money. We're just passive recipients. We need to redefine and understand these issues as human rights issues. Apparently, they were not seen as human rights issues. They were seen up as disadvantages that we need to throw money at. Skilling up government and the bureaucracy so they're capable of utilizing human rights as a tool. Oops. Social determinants. Man, this is a lot. Promote the rights. Okay, rights. Okay. They were focusing on health issues, but they're a template for everything. And this will connect to an equal society. Man, that is interesting. It's interesting because it's such a not a very typical American dialogue. Very it's not. It doesn't sound very American. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting to me that the College Board included this particular argument. I can very easily imagine some conservative thinkers being pretty pissed about this passage. God. It's very easy to imagine. Well, I'm just right now. I'm distracted. I can make a map of the passage in just a moment, but I'm just distracted by how not connected to like the typical American curriculum this passage is. It's very like I feel like the world divides into like a American way of thinking about these things versus socialist democratic way of thinking about these things versus kind of like Asian, maybe Singaporean or old school Korean style authoritarian way of thinking about these things. But it's such a not American passage. So it's interesting. All right. Well, that's just me reacting, but let me go into my map of the passage. There's 2 columns in this passage. I'm changing the page so you can tell that I'm not looking at it. I'm doing it completely from memory. Here's what I remember coming out. Here's what I remember coming out in which parts of the passage, starting at the top left, the very top of the first column. Map of the passage. Here we go. We have this speaker talk about this argument that's been floating around that focusing on rights of the Aboriginals, the rights of the Aboriginals will detract from the focus on the disadvantages. And he thinks that this is a false dichotomy. This false dichotomy because these rights are directly connected to the cultural considerations and like the social and health outcomes of these communities. Moreover, it's disingenuous. It's actually glossing over, it's hiding some of the relationships that are there. And he makes this argument about that I don't fully remember. It's in the middle of the left column. Now, going down to like the middle bottom of the left column, this speaker says that that there's basically like health rights. I don't know. It makes these arguments about rights and that being directly connected to the disadvantages and how. Oh my God! I forgot. I just forgot. I forgot the bottom of the left column. I do not remember it right now. Trying, but I can't remember it. So I'm gonna go skip to the top of the right column where where the speakers talks about in the past, recently there was like the prime minister, the opposition leader, and a bunch of people who got together to push forward some legislation that set out some goals for health outcomes, equality of health outcomes. Oh, and the bottom left, the speaker talks a lot about like what the government has been currently doing, which has been putting a lot of money in, but not being very specific about the outcomes of the money. And there's a big critique of the current government policy. And so in the top right, the speaker points to a particular policy that he does approve of, as a template, and we go through like the bullet points of how there's gonna be goals and how there's multiple goals and how they're gonna actually measure and track it, and then at the very end, this passage finishes off with a summary, with an argument that this is a template that can be reused to start re-arguing for the to revitalize sort of policy by focusing it on human rights and to achieve equal health outcomes, but beyond that, just an equal society. Wow, I wasn't very eloquent in my map of the passage, but I did get the big parts down. So I would say I could grade myself a B plus or maybe A minus for that map of the passage. I would say B plus though, because I struggled for a bit. All right, so that's a B plus map of the passage. Now that's done. Let me get into the questions themselves. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. How many no-look answers can I get this time? One central theme of the passage is legal rights, not improve. One theme is that the rights are connected to the outcomes. Should be used as a framework. Yeah, that's correct. That's basically the whole argument, actually. So that's a no-look answer. Comma, the failure to link its expenditures to outcomes is harmful because it just spends money without and makes them passive. Standardize negative attitudes, perpetuates the pattern of abusing, evade the obligation to be answerable for its policies. That's correct. It's not quite the wording I would have used, but sure, we don't have to be answerable. That's also a no-look answer, and I'm pretty confident, so I'm going to move on. Indicates in the past, stress which aspect of its relationship to the indigenous peoples, how much money it spent. The improvements, nope. The resources is devoted. That's correct. That's 515. That's another no-look answer. I think I had 3 no-look answers already. Line 30, decide means, line 30, decide. Being able to decide whether progress has been good enough. Well, they're determine. Oh, there we go. That's exactly the word I was looking for. 530. We have that. Comma would agree that the programs related to indigenous issues would have a better chance of succeeding if they have Australian government. When do we have a better chance of succeeding with these programs? Allow the indigenous communities to assist in devising and implementing? I don't know, but funding is not the problem. Healthcare initiatives that improve resources. Okay, so I'm just thinking about we want the participation of the indigenous people, so that's somewhere over here, without engaging with indigenous peoples in any way manner. But that's also there. But like, let's look over here. Address, hang on, full participation. Yeah, but where do we have those specific words? I'm just struggling right now with these words here of assistant devising and implementing. I don't remember that. I guess that's implied. Oh, most likely agree. Okay. Yeah, I agree, because let me just double check. Proven record of success is not the point, right? That's just a template. There's no proven record of success. These are just commitments. Okay, and that's just some type of approach. So that's not it. 715, here we go. That was a hard one. Yeah, so that's 36 through 41. 36 to 41. 38 to 41. All right, 725. And we're going over here. Ninth passage, paragraph. The focus shifts from 42 to 88. 42 to 88. That's when we start talking about actual the challenge and a critique to a goal, something like that. Criticism to an outline of a new approach. Its new approach. No. It's condemnation of the indifference towards indifference. I don't know. Tensions. How? tensions is kind of off. Recommendations, conditions, and communities. Wait, is this a new approach? Okay. Previously, factors in contrast, it's easy this approach. Past 5 years. Okay, I guess that's past and new. Yeah. I don't know. I feel iffy on this. But conditions in the community is not the focus, and then critique is correct, or criticism is correct, the outline of the new approach is correct. Indifference is not quite correct, and the tension is not quite correct. So 9, 10. I had to just process eliminate that to some extent, to quite a bit. I spent almost 2 minutes on that one. 50. The listers to summarize, not the actions. I don't know about actions, but yeah, propose. Nope. Enumerate similar. Nope. Inconsistent. Okay, yeah. Sure. 9:35. No look answer. 72 targets. Targets are probably this, right? Yeah. On our, where's targets? Targets, benchmarks, and targets. Goals. Goals. Yep. 950, and we're going over here. The audience of his speech as being, on the same side as him. Overly tolerant, maybe. Our challenge is to redefine these as human rights issues. We need to lift our expectations of what needs to be done. Yeah, 80-45. That's correct. 80-45. Yeah. I don't know how to explain that I felt that was correct, but it just felt that was correct, and I can't explain it at the moment, but pause. That is my fourth passage. That only took me 10 minutes and 35 seconds, and I'm pretty confident on those questions, so I'm happy to move on with basically 20 minutes left in this, more than 20 minutes left, I think, in this test. How did I know that, though? How did I know that the is overly tolerant? Because there's this tone, there's tone of we think it's not connected, but it is connected, and the rights connects to disadvantages, and we need to hold them up to a better. I don't know. I could catch the tone. I didn't really react to that tone during the reading, but it just kind of stayed with me. And when I saw that, it's that sounds right. That he thinks the audience is overly tolerant. And then you probably saw where I looked. I was looking not in the middle. I was looking over here, then here, the transition, and then over here, and I was just trying to, I kind of knew where to find it, but I don't know how to explain how I knew that. That one's really tricky. Anyway, I'll have to think more about that. But if you have questions on this, please leave a comment. But I think you could learn a lot from the fact that I knew where to look, even though it wasn't obvious. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm kind of curious what you guys think about that. All right, now I'm going to go into the fifth and final passage. Finish this sucker. Here we go. I don't want to drink too much coffee, but I kind of need it. All right, fifth, final passage. Getting my pencil out. Ready to go. Here we go. Oh, resetting the timer. And let's get going. 3, 2, 1, let's go. John Chambers, Mitten, Dust to Life, Origin Evolution of Our Solar System. Awkward. Primitive asteroids. Okay. Changed little since they formed. I see. Like little mini planets versus just rocks. Okay. So that's 33 seconds. So iron meteorites are differentiated, apparently. Oh my god, I am overwhelmed. Okay, what is a mantle? Oh god. Okay, let me try to figure this out. Iron cores of asteroids have melted. What happened to the corresponding rocky material that formed the mantles of the bodies? A few of these bodies. What's these bodies? Ah, okay, that's the asteroids. So iron meteorites came from the cores, but what happened to the mantles? Very rare, and presumably mantles should be more common. Some non-metallic meteorites come from asteroids that have partially or wholly melted. Okay. But they do not match the minerals we would expect in the mantles. These guys must come from some other kind of parent body. Oh my god, that was painful. Wow, that was painful. Actually, I need to write down the time because that took me 2 minutes just to get through that. Oh my god. Okay, but it's gonna be worth it. Okay, that was super important because I need to know my characters. The red mantle rocks. Mantle rocks. We're gonna call them mantle rocks. The missing mantle problem is long-standing puzzle. Iron fragments might survive better than rocky fragments. Okay, that makes sense, right? Iron lies in the core, surface. Rocky is first removed. So here are the reasons why. Okay. Here's the recognition. Rocky fragments have to survive longer, so they've been peeled away, while iron core remains a single piece. It's harder to disrupt. Iron is much stronger than rock, so rock is very weak, right? And that's obviously what I was thinking, at least. Likely to survive 10 times longer. So, maybe they just all, they disintegrated. If most broke apart early in the solar system, perhaps all the mantle material has been ground down to dust and lost over billions of years since then. It would mean are very rare. Intact. Aha, the differentiated are very rare. Hang on, let me just go and double check. Differentiated are. So we have lots of primitives. We don't have a lot of differentiated. Vesta. More. Or all that remain, perhaps. Oh. However, collisional erosion cannot be the whole story. Collisional erosion cannot be the whole story. Primitive. Hang on, I'm slightly confused how this is connected to collisional. Peeled away in small fragments. Oh, I see. Now, collision is the only way you can peel away. I was thinking of just like air erosion, but that doesn't exist in space. Okay, it really helps to understand some basic geology and astrology here. Astronomy, not astrology here. My understanding is so low that's very painful right now. In fact, I'm going to write down the time again because it's taking me so long to get through this. Primitive asteroids, the parent bodies of chondritic meteorites. Holy crap. Are no stronger than mantle rocks from differentiated asteroids. Interesting. The primitives are just as weak as the mantle. How did primitive asteroids survive? Not because of collisional erosion. We're trying to explain simply that different. Maybe they were rare to begin with. Oh my God. Many layers of logic here. Oh my. Whew. I am having like a heart attack with this passage. This is so hard. Holy crap. Perhaps the parent bodies of the iron meteorites, okay, closer to the sun. So collisions were more frequent. Okay, sure. Gravitational perturbation from large bodies scattered some of these fragments into the asteroid belt. Both iron and rock arrived only the stronger. Okay. Later on, the primitive parents survived, formed a mixture of anti-primitive bodies and fragments of iron from the original. So there's two different time periods that happened. Holy crap, that was hard. Okay, hang on, I didn't write down my time. That was very dizzyingly difficult. Okay. I think at least for the current SAT, it's biology and geology. And when I say geology, I just mean being able to describe things that look like rocks. That has just been a thorn in my side. So, and I got some hard. The biology in this one wasn't actually so bad. It was actually, interestingly, it was the economics that was really hard on this passage, on this test. But astronomy, geology, man, it's just painful to me. Okay, here's my map of the passage. Here we go. God. Oh, I'll zoom away so you can see that I'm not looking. Oh, I should read the graph. I read the graph first. I always read the graph first. Sorry, let me continue the time for a second. Here we go. Where's my time? There we go. Composition of asteroid belt by asteroid type with and without four largest objects. Okay, where's the four largest objects? So here's the types. Mantle. Okay, we have differentiated ones, and then primitive ones. Those Vesta. I also was curious about Vesta, and everything else is a little confusing. But I'm looking at how the primitive ones are. Oh, look at this primitive. Look at this insane number here. Okay, these primitive ones have huge proportion. And these guys have an extremely small proportion. Okay. The four largest are from class C, apparently. It's kind of interesting. And from class, well, obviously from V, yeah, because that's the largest one. All right, that's 733, 735. Pause. All right. Now, you might really be suspicious of this use of time, but I don't think it's worth. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth spending a minute and 20 seconds understanding what the hell the graph, the infographic, the table in this case, is talking about, so that I know where to look. When I read the question later on, I will know where to look. And me knowing where to look and having a pretty inbuilt network of logical connections between the passage and the infographic, and being able to make them communicate with each other, that it's like, that it makes sense to me, right? It's like, oh, the Vesta, that's different. Oh, the differentiated and the undifferentiated, that's over here at the top and the bottom. And I can find it. I know what I'm looking for. It's from the passage, right? Then it makes it much easier for me to get through those questions without doing a whole shit ton of process elimination. It's going to waste a lot of time later on. It saves me time to do this, I believe. All right, map of the passage. Here we go. Top left. Wow, this was a hard passage. Top left. Very first paragraph was this extremely confusing thing where it was talking about differentiated iron meteorites that have seemed to come from the core versus where are the mantle rocks? Where's the mantle meteorites or whatever they call them? Mantle rocks is what I'm gonna call them. Okay, and it's just like lots of words, but basically, iron meteorites, plenty. Mantle rocks, where the hell are they? Okay, that was the first paragraph. Took me 2 minutes just to get that. Then the second paragraph down to the middle of that column, something like, cores, mantle rocks. Oh, we talk about how much, all of the reasons why mantle rocks, according to the collisional erosion theory, we don't actually call it that, but basically I'm calling it that. In the middle, all the way to basically the bottom of that column, we're describing the collisional erosion theory, where there's many reasons why obviously mantle rocks would disintegrate into dust, whereas these iron cores wouldn't. And there's multiple reasons. Mantle rocks would have come off earlier, maybe would have collided more, and they're weaker. Something like that. But at the very bottom of the left column, the author talks about how this cannot be the whole story and points to some complicating factors that I don't fully remember. And these complicating factors even bleed over to the top right, second column top. But then the one that I do remember is one of the complicating factors is, but there's Vesta. And Vesta is a huge differentiated rock, and it's surviving in the asteroid belt. And then there's this whole other class of rocks that I forget what they're called, but they also are surviving. And Jesus, I'm struggling right now. But anyway, because of these confounding factors, all right, this theory is not good enough to explain how the mantle rocks vanished. Whew. That's the top of the right column. In the middle of the right column, we start getting into how there could be this other explanation. It was proposed by some guy whose name I no longer remember. And basically, the idea is that the iron cores come from an original source set of rocks, asteroids, I guess, source set of asteroids that were formed much closer to the sun, and so they collided a lot more. And then the very rare iron meteorites, they kind of made their way out to, are the ones that they survived by making their way out to the asteroid belt. But the existing mantle rock type meteorites in the asteroid belt, they were formed much later in the asteroid belt itself, and that's why they can still hang out. Wow, that was hard. Anyway, that's my map of the passage. Very painful passage, but I think my map was still pretty good. So I would give myself a score of a grade of a B+ for that map of the passage, and I feel pretty happy. I spent 7 minutes and 30 seconds, right, reading that and the graph, the chart. I mean, I'm pretty happy with my investment of time because I feel pretty confident that I know where everything is, and I will be able to use my map of the passage to guide myself through the questions when needed. All right. Oh, by the way, I should say one other thing about the chart. At the chart, the very top, we have the undifferentiated iron meteorites. At the very bottom, we have these differentiated the really differentiated ones, or maybe it's flipped. But anyway, one of them are extremely rare, and one of them is much more common. The differentiated stuff is much more common, I think. Okay, something like that. Well, I'll go and double check when I actually have to look at the graph. But that's what I remember from the chart. All right, let's finish this off. 3, 2, 1, let's go. The main purpose of the passage is to propose a new theory. That sounds about right. Describe competing hypotheses. Describe a study into a high number of meteorites from primitive ash. Hang on. I gotta remember what the hell this is talking about. So many primitive when none of the differentiated ones said. Okay. Okay, I guess scarcity of a component of differentiated asteroids. Meteorites on Earth. What? In our meteorite collection and in the asteroid. Okay, that's correct. Wow, that's painful. Differentiated, yeah. All right, that is, wow, 9:20. That was painful. That almost took me 2 minutes. Line 25, disrupt. While the iron core remains a single piece, making it much harder to disrupt later, to break apart. To fracture is kind of weird. Confuse, interrupt, impede. I guess fracture. Can you use fracture for rocks? I guess you can. Yeah. Collisional erosion within them was sufficient to explain the situation, then would expect to find that there's no primitive. No primitive, okay? Far fewer primitive. Yep, that's correct, 955. Wow! And that would be top right. How did so many primitives survive? I guess the rhetorical question, 43, 44. Maybe starting at 40. 44, 47? No, 44, 47 is kind of weird, right? Part of the, yeah. So that would be up to 44. Yep. So 1025. Here we go. I think I got this no-look answer. I think that was a no-look answer. Question in 47, 49 serves 2. 47, 49. I think we just had this. Still, how did Vesta survive? It's... pointing out confounding factors, an anomaly that challenges an idea presented earlier. Yep, that's correct. I'm confident. I don't need to double check. Okay. 53, 54. 53, 54. Collision in the region that now contains terrestrial planets contains and that now encompasses. Hang on, I just lost track of that sentence. In the region that now. Perhaps the parent planets that form closer to the sun in the region that now, includes the terrestrial planets, encompasses, controls, embodies, restraints. Region that now encompasses. Yeah, the region can, I guess, encompass them. Bach and his colleagues explained the present by asserting the fragments were, brought on over, scattered into the asteroid belt. Yeah, remnants of differentiated. Yeah. They were differentiated at first. Gravity, no. Planets, no. That's just nonsense that was just made up. Okay. Yeah. Should have not really done process elimination on that one. Kind of a waste of time. Data on the table best support the conclusion that the majority of the mass are primitive, I think, right? Primitive, the vast majority, primitive and primitive. Yeah, 1230. See how fast I can go through this? Assuming that the 4 largest astral type objects are among the 11. The 4 of the 11 types, 4 objects are among the 11 types. Most of them are either, they're either B, C, or V. B, C, or V. B, C, or V. B, C, or V. Non-V, B, C, or V. They are not type K. 2 of them are the same type. Yep. 2 are the same type. 13, 15. Because there's 4 and there's 3 types. Taken together, the passage in the table most strongly suggests that the model proposed by astronomers would imply which conclusion about type C. Which conclusion about type C? Type C is possibly the parents of chondritic meteorites. They're primitive, they have carbon, and they include some of the largest ones. So what do we know about primitive, large? They survived. They were formed in the. They were younger than type M. Let me just double check M. Yeah, they're younger. They were formed recently. Yeah, because over here, later on, 63. Yep. 60 to 64, just double checking, because just being safe. Huh? What? 60 to 64 doesn't help. Oh, no, it does, because it includes the second sentence. Okay. So now I'm at 1440. Wow, I really need to check time on this one, because man, that was rough, yo. That was rough. All right, let's go and double check how much time I actually spent. So I was at 23:05, and then from 23:05, oh no, I already did this. I was at 33:20 plus 4, 37:25. So 33:20 plus 10:35. 33:20 is 43:55. Okay, let me just double check my math. 33:20 plus 10 plus 35. Okay? 10 minutes, 35 seconds, yeah. So 43:55 plus 6:15, that puts us at 44:10, and then 50:10. 50:10, just double checking my math, yep. And 43:55 plus 40 seconds is 44:35. Let me just double check. 44:35. 44:35 plus 14 minutes is 58:35. 58:35. 43:55. So that's almost 15 minutes, right? Yeah. That's 20 seconds less than 15 minutes, and that's correct. Wow, that passage was that was a rough one. Okay, but I still finished it in 58:35 seconds. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I was a little sleepy at the beginning, but I feel pretty confident I can get 51 out of 52. So let's see. Let's see how I did. I'm going to pull up my answers. My answer key, I mean. Here we go. And I'm glad that this version of the test didn't have a bunch of typos, because that was very annoying in the previous in the April in the May was it May International. All right, let's go back to the beginning, and here we go. I chose CABDB, and I am looking at the wrong page right now. Give me a sec. Okay. This is what? Also, what's this? Is this correct? All right. Anyway, I'm looking at this very annoying. Is this what? Is this the Reddit? First of all, it's saying CAADB, CAADB, which seems obviously incorrect. So I want to just double check. A series of plans for him intending to construct it. And let me make sure that I didn't misread, because I did do a no look answer, so I could have made a mistake here. He could have been intending, because now that I think about it, he didn't describe it in detail. Sketches and watercolors will be set off by a dozen scenic side windows. I made a mistake, huh? I made a mistake because I rushed what he wanted the window to be. Boo! Okay, yeah, so these are things he's going to make. It will. Okay, well, I accept this, so I'm wrong. All right, let's go to number 4. Let me go back to the answer key over here. This answer key is very annoying and hard to read, but I'm going to keep. But this is the PDF I have in front of me, so I'm not going to download a new PDF just to do this. So I chose DB, and I see DB, cool. And then I chose CBD, and I see CBD, cool. Then I chose BD, and I see BD, cool. So now we're at 9 out of 10. Hopefully I made no other mistakes. And that mistake was a no-look answer. And it was me being overly confident when I should have double-checked. Okay. A little annoying, but okay, whatever. All right, so then 11, I chose... what? Wait, didn't I answer this? I remember answering this, but where's my... What did I... Okay. A necessary feature, a necessary, component. I answered this, but my marking is gone. Okay, well, let's do that again. For 11 to 14, I chose A, B, C, D, and my PDF keeps being finicky. Give me a sec. A, B, C, D are correct. And then I chose B, C, D, B, B, C, D, BCBB 14. 17 says B. Develop a claim about the effect of large cities in the various parts of the world versus in the urbanization in the past versus the effect of large cities. Come on. 52 to 60. Fail to spur growth in the rapidly urbanizing world. The failing to spur growth. Mega cities, large cities. Hey, that's correct. I didn't really understand the reasoning. I still don't really understand the reasoning. For one, the lion's share of places that are urbanizing are most rapidly and the poorest least poor. It's very weird reasoning, but yeah. That is a claim, and it's about the effect of large cities in various parts of the world. That's correct. Compare causes of... Whew, that's correct. I got another one wrong. All right, 15, 16, 17, 18. B, C, B, B are correct. So I guess I got to keep going with that one. All right. B, C, B, B is correct. It's a little depressing. And then CA. CA. So I got 9 out of 10 on this one as well. Okay, 21, here we go. 21, I chose ADACD. ADAC. How do I make this PDF not freak out like this every single time? All right. ADACD. ADACD are correct. And then I chose CBDBA. Hang on, I got confused. CBDBA, that's correct. CBDBA, cool. So I think I have 10 out of 10. Let me just double check ADACD. ADACD, CBDBA, CBDBA. Okay, so that's 10 out of 10. 31 to 40. 31 to 41. 31 to 41. I chose CDD CAC. CDD CAC. Okay, that's correct. And then I chose BAB DD. BAB DD. Those are correct. That's 11 out of 11. And then I chose... -2 is not acceptable. DA are correct. And then BCA CA, BCA CB, 48 is apparently B. Gravity is a little shocking to me personally. So let me, that one's a little shocking to me because pretty different from how I remember the passage. Okay, so let me just double check. 48 is supposed to be B. The presence of iron fragments in the asteroid belt by asserting that the fragments were. Now, we're talking about vodka, and iron fragments in the asteroid belt scattered the gravitational perturbations from larger bodies, scattered the fragments into the asteroid belt. Oh my lord, seriously? I made an assumption there. I made an assumption of what B meant. I thought that B meant that it was pulling, that the large objects in the asteroid belt were apparently pulling these guys over into the asteroid. Oh my god, I made a bad assumption about B. Woo, that's not pretty. That's not pretty. But that is B. Annoying. But yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I made another mistake. I got 3 wrong. I want to whine. All right, well, let's go 44 to 48. I'm going from 44 to 48. So I got BCA. Apparently, I got BCAC. BCAC, and then it's supposed to be B. Yeah. Final 4, I chose ADDD, and then here it says ADDD, so I got a 3rd question wrong. That is 10 out of 11. So I got 49 out of 52. All right. Well, that wasn't so bad, but it definitely wasn't very clean. Because all 3 of, like, I can't complain about the quality of this test the same way that I could about some previous ones, because all of those correct answers are unassailable. Like, I just made mistakes. I made mistakes. That was just not a very clean test for me. Sorry, that was not a very clean take of the test for me. I could have been much cleaner, and I'm trying to reflect a little on how that ended up happening that way, but it's not clear to me exactly. I mean, I guess I have some couple ready excuses. The first one is, it's been a long time. Like, I don't take a lot of practice tests these days, so I'm just a little out of practice and a little sloppy. Maybe overly confident, just because it's been such a while, and I'm used to things going my way and being very clean, and so that's where the confidence comes from. But because I'm out of practice, I'm actually a little less controlled with my test taking. I skip things when I shouldn't skip and stuff like that. Like for this one, I probably could have just done a quick check of intending versus finished. It was something that occurred to me in that moment. Sorry, when I say this one, I mean this one. It occurred to me that I could check it, but I decided to be a little ballsy and just sort of ignore that. For this one, I wasn't. I could have just at least circled the question, because I chose causes of urbanization in the past versus the present, and I'm pretty sure I could have doubted that enough to circle it and come back later, but I didn't. It wasn't very clean. It wasn't very clean. I think I'm overestimating my abilities. I'm just overly confident right now. Gravity, I made an assumption that it was the collisions when I could have just double checked the path. I took 35 seconds on that. I assume I did look at it. Gravitational, line 58, says it right there. And I read B and I just assumed it wasn't correct. 48, maybe because of my lack of, sophisticated understanding of how things work in space, I might have made that assumption about what gravity was doing in B, and I might not have been able to save myself on B. I might have saved myself from my assumption. You know what I mean? But at least the other ones, I could have fixed those. So I do think, something was off with my test taking. I was too confident. I'm overestimating my abilities now, especially given the fact that I'm out of practice. I'm being too aggressive with the no-look answers and everything. So in the next stream, I should be more humble about it. But the problem is, I don't have another stream until the March SAT comes out. So when the March SAT comes out, I guess I should be humbler. But I don't really have another reading test to solve until then, so can't really apply this lesson anywhere. Anyway, that's me for this test. Looks like there's no other questions, so that's it for me today. Thanks for tuning in. Do I have an announcement? One last thing I could say is I'm thinking of doing some peer tutoring, opening up some peer tutoring in our Discord server. So if you want to be tutored or tutoring somebody else, just hop in to the server, which you can find the link for in the description below, and I'll see you there. Anyway, that's me getting 49 out of 52 in too fast of a test take. So the lessons are there right in front of you. I hope that you guys can take these lessons on your own and apply it to your own test taking to make that better for you. until the next time, keep on learning, keep on growing. See you then.